Hello everybody, this is Nasty Fox, and we're going to be doing a review today on the Liberator. It's a high-end weapon blueprint that you can purchase from the Phoenix vendor inside of your lovely JTF base of operations. It goes for 179 Phoenix credits. It's probably one of the best purchases you can make right off the bat. I would suggest saving up 179 credits and making this your first purchase. It is an amazing weapon. Has a lot of firepower and is able to cut through things like butter. So, just like with all other high-end weapons, it does not have any ability to skin it, so this is the default look for the weapon, its own handcrafted look. It's got a nice little white with black accents and a little gold, a little bit of gold added in as well. So we'll go into the weapon itself. So looking at the Liberator, this is a very high DPS weapon. It's an assault rifle. It has high damage and a very high rate of fire as well. That RPM is very high, and you can actually increase that with mods as well. Mag starting off is 30, which is what most assault rifles are as well. So you have a good deal of accuracy, reload speed coming right off the bat. Range is, it's a good short to mid-range weapon here. You're not going to be doing too much long range, although you are still able to do a decent amount of damage at long range, as you'll see later on in the video when we actually put this to the test in a challenging mode mission. Stability, while it looks good on the bars there, is actually absolutely horrible because of the rate of fire. So looking at the talents, we have our talent Competent. That's one of the first talents. It requires 1417 firepower and 1889 electronics to actually be active. We're looking at weapon damage being increased by 13% for 10 seconds after using a skill. So this is a very skill focused weapon. The more you use your skills, the more damage you're going to do with it. Now I use overheal and pulse most of the time. Those are usually on cooldown, so I'm usually seeing this 13% increase in damage popping up quite a bit. The next talent down the list is Dominant. So that means every kill performed while your signature skill is active reduces the cooldown of your other skills by 8%. So this kind of feeds into that first talent by being able to allow you to cast your skills more often. We're looking at 1889 for firepower and 1889 for electronics to activate this talent right here. So this one's a little bit more hefty on the cost requirement. And then the talent that you don't need anything to activate is Talented. Killing a target with this weapon increases the skill power by 8% for 13 seconds. The effect does not stack, the effect does not stack. Killing a new target refreshes the timer. So you're not going to be able to stack that, but it does refresh the timer every time you do kill somebody. You're looking at a magazine, small optics, small muzzle, and a small underbarrel for the mod slots on this guy. Now, when we actually go in to mod this guy, I definitely recommend using as much stability as you can, because the rate of fire on this is absolutely ridiculous. It's firing off like a machine gun. It's very high rate of fire, and with that high rate of fire, it makes it very hard to control. So I definitely recommend making sure that you have stability on this weapon, and there's two mod slots that allow you to increase your stability. It's going to be your muzzle and your underbarrel. Now the muzzle is going to give you the most because you can actually get stability and horizontal stability off of this. So there's two different types of stability that you have to worry about with this weapon. Just basic stability, which is going to be your up and down movement, and then your horizontal stability, which is going to be left to right. This actually has quite a bit of kick in both, and I'm actually going to fire this off so you guys can see just how fast this is without any modifications added on. So without me pressing anything, that's just how the weapon fires right there. So you can see a good left to right jumping back and forth, and you can see a good up and down. So without trying to control the weapon at all, it's all over the place. Now if I try and control it and home in on a target, you can see it's still very hard to control up close. Now when we take a target further out, see how that's all over the place. So now mid-range starts becoming compromised because of the rate of fire. And then you can say, you know, so long to long range. So if I wanted to hit something over there, that's with me trying to control it. So you can see that without any modifications, that stability is ridiculous right now. And I definitely recommend adding stability, because right now anybody using the weapon's probably gonna not enjoy it as much with the stability problems that it has. Let's go ahead and mod this guy. So we'll go ahead and add in the muzzle brake that I crafted. So I have stability and horizontal stability both over 30%, both are actually right around 36 and 34% for both of those. So this adds quite a bit of stability to the weapon right there, right off the muzzle brake. The other stability that we get is also going to be from my hand grip, adding accuracy and stability. So that's going to add a little bit more stability to the weapon right there. Now I'm going to do something that's going to bring the stability down a little bit, but bring my DPS up a little bit. Now you can change this if you want to. So if you're having more problems controlling it, you may want to not have a magazine that increases rate of fire. Because again, the faster that you're firing this, the harder it is to control. So right now we're looking at 850 as soon as I put on this magazine. That increases the size but also rate of fire. Now we're looking at 1072. So now with this new magazine equipped, we're going to have a little less stability. So I added stability off these two, but with the increase of rate of fire, it kind of impacts it a little more. Now if you want a little more stability, obviously don't do the rate of fire. Now the rate of fire does increase your DPS though. We're going to go ahead and add in our accuracy headshot scope as well. So modifications on all three items here. This is what we're looking at, and again these two are going to be adding to stability, and this guy is slightly going to be taking away from stability just because the increase in rate of fire. So now let's go ahead and shoot this guy off with the new modifications. You can already see that there's a drastic difference there in the close to mid-range. And now I can actually get in on some longer ranges. Now usually when I'm doing long range, I'm not just holding the trigger down, I usually do bursts. You can see how it returns every time. But as you can see, this is a very fast firing weapon, and you can definitely see how this would benefit you as far as damage output. Now looking at my current setup with what I have, we're looking at a huge increase, 121,000 DPS primary, or sorry, 121,000. I was looking at the Caduceus, as wrong weapon, but with the Liberator here, we're looking at the high damage output, high rate of fire weapon, and definitely getting that magazine increase helps a lot too, because with this rate of fire, you definitely want at least 50 rounds in each magazine that you're pumping into this. So I definitely recommend whatever magazine you get, it needs to have an increase in your ammo capacity, well, your magazine size. And then as far as the secondary, again, if you want a little bit more DPS, add in that fire rate. If you want a little more stability, do something else like maybe a damage increase or something else. There's crit damage, there's a whole bunch of different other ones that you can apply to that. And again, if you have the modifications bought off the vendor, there's magazine one, an underbarrel, there's the muzzle brake, there's optics, all of that can be bought off the Phoenix vendor. Most of the modifications go anywhere from, I believe, 80 to 90 Phoenix credits to buy each of those modifications that you can craft. And again, with crafting, that's the best way to get the best weapons, because you can continuously craft over and over again until you get the perks and stats that you want exactly. The only downside is, again, you have to go around gathering all that crafting material. If you do some dark zone runs, it's not too bad. If you just load up on purples, doing like the 32 run or even the 31 or 30 runs, you can definitely get a lot of crafting materials from that. And if you have your scavenging up, the higher you have your scavenging, the more likely you will be able to pull yellows from scavenging random toolboxes and whatnot. So yeah, we'll go ahead and jump into some challenging mode missions and show you just what the Liberator does in action. Again, I definitely recommend picking this guy up. 179 credits. This will probably be #1 purchase for everybody going forward until you get something better like the Caduceus or something else. So let's go ahead and jump in.
Impressed, Agent. Tricky assignment, but you did what had to be.
Okay, so we're here at the firing range, and this is that special little area that you can unlock for the 200 security supplies that you get from doing the security missions. It's a nice little place to come down and test numbers and check out your build and see how much damage you're doing. Right now there's 3 targets set up in here, and there's a nice little area right here where you can start up like a little timed range where these targets pop up and everything, and you get like a high score and all that good stuff. It's kind of cool, but we're just going to focus on these black targets for right now. Now we have a kind of like a short, medium, and long range targets here, but that long range target is definitely not kind of set up that way. I think more long range targets are definitely a lot further than that when you're actually encountering them in the missions and whatnot. But we'll go ahead and start from here, and we'll just do unbuffed, and you'll see how easy it is to keep it on the target with closer range, and the longer and further out it gets, the harder it gets. But we'll see some damage numbers. Now again, your damage numbers will be a little different depending on how much firearms you have in your current build. My current build, I'm sitting at about 121,831, so 121,000 right now. So we'll go ahead and get started. So you can see it's real easy for me to keep it on target with the short range. It gets a little bit harder to keep it on target once I get further out. And definitely the farthest target's going to be a little bit harder, but still not as bad as it is with some of the longer range that you get when you start doing the challenging mode. So we'll go ahead and give this a buff now. Jumped up a couple thousand just with the pulse buff. We're not seeing that much part there, but yeah, you can see how obviously this is like a short to mid-range weapon. It definitely does a lot of damage. Now in the challenging mode missions, you saw that some of the guys were obviously taking it a lot, but that's challenge mode for you bullet sponges, and it definitely takes a lot longer to take those guys down if you don't have a weapon like the Liberator. But yeah, that's the Liberator for you guys. Thanks for watching. I'm definitely going to be reviewing some other weapons as I pick them up. Caduceus is the next weapon I'm going to be reviewing, seeing as I just recently got one, so that'll be the next. It's another assault rifle. But yeah, thanks for watching. Definitely hit that subscribe button below if you want to check out more weapon videos as I put them out. You guys have a wonderful day.